Channel 6 Television, WCTV, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
Bobby Bowden Show, featuring highlights of the Florida State-Pittsburgh football game, is brought to you by Merrill Lynch. In today's economy, you need a brokerage firm that's a breed apart. By Burger King, where you can win 2 free tickets to the Florida State-Florida game. Enter the Showdown sweepstakes today at Burger King. By the members of Dairy Farmers Incorporated, local producers of the natural nutrition, fresh Florida milk. By Like's Meats, bite the best this season. And by the Prudential Insurance Company of America. For life, health, auto, or home insurance, see your Prudential Insurance representative today. Here's Seminole head football coach Bobby Bowden.
Those Florida State football players deserve a pat on their back for the accomplishments they have had the past 2 weeks. We've never taken on the likes of Nebraska there, and then Pitt here, both of them nationally ranked. Many people had Pittsburgh picked as the #1 team in the nation at the beginning of the season. I know Sports Illustrated had picked them as #1, and several newspapers had picked them the same way. And for these players of ours to beat Nebraska, who was #3 in the nation, and then the very next week, Pitt moves up to #3 in the nation, and we were able to knock them off, and knock them off pretty decisively. I am just so proud of our football players. I'm proud of our assistant coaches for the game plan they had, and it's just good for Florida State University. We had a funny, not a funny thing, an odd thing happened last week. Paul Porowski, who was Lineman of the Week in the nation, also in the Southeast, after our win over Nebraska, just had a great game, had his picture in every paper in the country, and then the very next day, he gets appendicitis, has to have his appendix taken out, and of course, we play without him. And I've got to give Ron Hester, Jr. from Umatilla, Florida, a great pat on the back from me and our staff and our teammates for the job he did filling in for Ron. I tell you, I knew we were going to have a good night because we had one of those old-fashioned pep rallies last Thursday night, a bonfire and everything. And we'll tell you a little bit more about it, but let's have this commercial.
High school days come only once, laughs and good times by the bunch. Make it special before it slips away. Loving all these special times, you hope they never end. Keep them going special, make it Burger King and Friends. Burger King and Friends. Make it fries, crisp and light, tasty shakes fixed up right. Make it special, make it Burger King.
Could a quarterback reach the goal line if he were completely alone without his team? Of course not. Teamwork is an essential element in reaching goals. Your goals in life are more difficult than those of football. Prudential can help you reach your most important goals. Your Prudential team can provide you with a strong defense, solid as a rock. With life, health, auto, and home insurance, Prudential can provide the protection you need to help reach your goal lines. Call your Prudential agent today. The field can be a lonely place without your team.
And now I'm happy to tell you about an important report available from the 42 Merrill Lynch offices in Florida. If you'd like to be a better investor, and who wouldn't, get a pen and a piece of paper right now, because I'm going to tell you about a special report on stock selection, timing, and techniques that you can get free. It tells some of the guidelines used by financial experts to help them decide when to buy a stock and when to sell it. Can you imagine having that kind of information on hand when you're about to make a decision? And not only does this report help remove the mystery from stock selection and timing, it also includes special investment techniques, such as buying on margin, trading in options, and selling short. It might make you a lot more confident of your decisions the next time you invest. Now, the Merrill Lynch offices in Florida want to give you this report free, and here's how to get it. Ask for the Merrill Lynch report on timing. Now, call Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, we had over 52,000 people, I think 52,890 or something like that, and broke all of our attendance records again at Florida State. There we come out on the field. You see our Renegade, our horse, and Chief Osceola, our mascot. We get off to a great start. Again, the crowd was excellent. They kick off. We bobble the ball. Larry Harris, freshman from Gainesville, picks the ball up, and we get the ball back to the 13-yard line. They get good coverage. Number 20 there is Ken Burnett from Brandon. Okay, they got us backed off right. That's number 99, Hugh Green from Pitt. This will be the last year we have to look at him. There's Sam Platt from Jacksonville, Florida, making a nice run there. Zeke Mowat, number 81 from Wauchula. Got a nice telegram from Tom Underwood from down in Wauchula last week. Stark punched the football there, and it got a bad bounce. So Hester, number 83 there, he's in a slip-over jersey. You see him taking it off. We have to change his number to get him on the punt team. They run the football there. We have a good tackle right off the bat. Number 83, Hester. Ron Hester from Umatilla, Florida, was taking the place of Paul Porowski, who had an appendectomy. Watch his touchdown. We had the thing covered. Bobby said he was afraid to jump up with him. He was afraid to get an interception. Keith Jones from Wildwood, Florida, gets over and gets a hit. But they score on the second play. Their second play from scrimmage, they score. They take a 7-0 lead. And the one thing we didn't want to happen, a long play. We felt like to beat them, we had to cut out the long play. And right off the bat, they get one. They kick the ball off. It's taken by Larry Harris. And he brings the ball back to the 22-yard line. There's 84, Sam Childers from Tallahassee. 46 is, not sure who that was. Oh, boy, look at him knock Sam's hat off. Number 58 there for Pitt, one of their fine defensive tackles. There's Phil Williams running in motion. Stockstill back to pass. This team of Pitt puts a great pass rush on. We protected our passer better than we ever have. There was a throw in there to Phil Williams. This will give you another shot at the same thing. Stockstill goes back to pass. Now we try to throw a takeoff pattern down here. They have it covered. Hardest Johnson, number 22 from Tampa, Florida. The Stark comes in and punts, and I tell you, our kicking game with Capice and Stark has been exceptional again. Has been exceptional. Reedus Coggins, number 66 there, covering for our punt team, was the first man down. Okay, here's Marino, their great quarterback, back to pass. He hits Benji Pryor across the middle, but they knocked the ball out of there. I see James Harris, number 33. I see Gary Futz there, 79 from Ocala. James Harris from Gainesville. Number 60 there is Scott McLean from Claremont, Florida. Watch this. Over the middle he goes to that big tight end there. Boom, a nice hit there. That's probably 28. Keith Jones calls him that. He makes some fine plays inside. 21 is Bobby Butler. 64 is Jarvis Coursey. Okay, now we get the ball back. Okay, here. Oh, look at Mr. Whiting from Largo, Florida. Mike Whiting makes. I think he had a nice run in there, about 16 yards, and we can't knock it in. So Bill Capice comes in and kicks the extra field goal there, and now Pitt has a 7-3. But those first 3 points right there really got our momentum going. Caused by a fumble by our defensive team of the Pitt offense. Bill Capice kicks off, and as usually, there are not very many of them returnable. Oh, number 51 there, James Gilbert deflects that pass. Marino was trying to throw across the middle. They punt the football, and the ball runs in the end zone. Monk Bonasort, 42 there, protecting to let that ball go in. What they did, they shifted their quarterback back to the punt, and we thought they might go for it. Okay, here's Stockstill back to pass. We need a big, a real fine completion there to Phil Williams again. Phil Williams, I'm so proud of him because he came to Florida State as a walk-on. Oh, and they get a big quarterback sack there. They got our quarterback there, and John Madden, number 58 there from Fort Walton Beach, started for us for the first time since the East Carolina ball game. He's been out with 2 weeks. Meant a lot having him back. Stark punts again, and watch this punt. Watch their punter have to turn, and look at that punt. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? He averaged 48.1 points. Oh, there's a clip down on number 30. He averaged 48.1 yards a punt, and he had to kick 125-yarder because he was kicking it out of bounds on the 10-yard line. I see Arthur Scott, number 54 there. Looks like he might come up with a fumble. Ron Simmons, number 50. Alfonso Carrica, number 76. He's a freshman, 6'6", 235 pounds from Columbus, Ohio. Okay, here's Platt. Platt doing a good job of running. We did a much better. There's Hugh Green, number 99. They're great defensive end, one of the greatest I've ever seen. But Florida State got more. Sam Platt gained more yards rushing against Pitt than every opponent total for the season. All right, they punt and they fumble the football. It looks like we get old Trent Barnes, 65, from down around Lakeland. He's excited. Phil Williams from up in Griffin, Georgia there. And I believe that was Ron Hester again returning that. So Stockstill goes back. He's looking for Hardest Johnson down the sideline. They played it real good. We come up with an incompletion. We're trying to get on that board now. Looks like they're going to get us for a chop block. That's that new chop block rule they've got. And they get us. Now, here's Sam Platt on a real fine run. Look at Platt. Real fine run. We got some good blocking. And Platt, I was so happy with Sam Platt from Jacksonville. And here's Platt again. And they just whipped us right there at the line of scrimmage there. Anytime they break through that solid. 62 there's Eric Ryan from Sarasota, Florida. The Stockstill goes back. He hits Hardest Johnson for a touchdown. And it puts Florida State in the lead. And what a play that was. Stockstill had a very good night, threw 3 touchdown passes. Unglob sets the ball down, and Bill Capice kicks another extra point. Bill Capice kicked 5 field goals the other night. I feel sure he would have had a 6th one, but we got a high snap, and the ball got down late, and the timing was off. And Bill had it right down the middle, but he hit it a little too high. Didn't have his usual thud behind it. Okay, we kick off again. They started to bring it out, and he fumbled it. He picks it up again. I'm not sure who that is for them, but I see old Harvey Clayton down there from Homestead. Mike Smith, number 7 from Panama City, is down there on the tackle. So, okay, Florida State lines up. Now, this is when Marino, the quarterback from Pitt, was complaining about the crowd noise. I've never heard a noisier Florida State crowd in my life. That stadium, I guarantee you, those Seminoles made more noise in that 52,000 than LSU makes with 78,000. So their quarterback is kind of getting on. I want the crowd to do this. I like that noise, but when we hold our hands up and wave them to quiet, please be quiet, because you can see where a penalty right down here would really hurt. But they were just enthusiastic. They wasn't doing it on purpose. They were just enthusiastic. I could tell by the pep rally the other night they were going to be enthusiastic. We had one of those old-fashioned pep rallies, you know, where you had the bonfire and everybody came, and they punt the football, and old Gary Henry back there from Orlando decides to let it hit because it was short and it wasn't. And we got good field position. We're on their side of the 50, and there's Sam Platt. Look at Sam run. Boy, was I proud of him. Sam didn't quite get in here. I think he came up about a yard short here of the touchdown. That would have been a fantastic touchdown run by Sam Platt against what many think is the #1 defense in the nation. Sam Childers from Tallahassee, Florida, catches another touchdown pass from Rick Stockstill. Number 6 there, you see Dennis McKinnon from Miami, Florida. 99, Rick Voltapetty from Miami, Florida. And then Bill Capice comes in and kicks another extra point. So now Florida State has a 17-7 lead. All right, we get the ball back. There's a handoff to Platt again. Watch him run. They got Hugh Green, number 99, the All-American in at Pitt. He'll make tackle after tackle after tackle. He was indeed a great football player. But thank goodness our team was better this past week. Okay, Stock's back. He finds Zeke Mowat from Wauchula coming across the middle, and Zeke runs for a first down. Zeke Mowat, to me, is one of the most improved football players on our team from now and spring. Bill Capice comes in and drills another field goal, and it puts Florida State out ahead 20-7. Now, we only had about 50 seconds left. It was 37 seconds, you can tell by that clock there. And they're going to throw an interception, a great interception by Keith Jones right here. Watch it. Keith Jones' interception, and Bill Capice comes in and drills a big field. Watch this. A fine job there. Gary Henry and Keith Jones. Bobby Butler blocking us. Picks up another block by Hester from Umatilla. And now we got just a couple of seconds on the clock. Reggie Herring comes over and calls a timeout. Bill Capice comes in, and Florida State takes a 23-7 halftime lead. And I'll be back with a second half action right after this timeout.
Most people think two rivals like us could never agree on anything. They're wrong. We agree that everybody loves a winner.
A wiener, Charlie, a wiener.
Bobby, I thought we were talking about football, not hot dogs.
Well, not just any hot dog, Charlie. A Like's Plumper hot dog. The best you can buy.
The best you can bite, too.
Huh?
Because these are the kind our fans like best.
You mean we really do agree on something?
Finally.
Hey, folks, this hot dog just made history.
Likes hot dogs. They're the best you can bite.
Milk and good food go together at the natural taste of cheese. Team them up every day for a tastier way to make the most of your favorite meal. Milk and good food go together, and cheese adds a slice of life. So when you wanna please, it's easy with cheese and the natural nutrition of milk.
You know, the best kind of advertising is word of mouth. I believe in it. And I'd never agree to recommend something if I didn't have plenty of good experiences to share. Like the Brothers 3. I've had my family here, my team here, even my mother-in-law. And when my wife threw a surprise party for me, you guessed it, the Brothers 3 has the most complete banquet facilities you can find. Exquisite steaks and seafood that's fresh that day. Or they won't serve it. First class. That's Brothers 3. I recommend it.
Make it a day, you and him. Now it's time for his first trim. Make it special, it'll be okay. A little snip, a little clip. Now there it's not so bad. You're ready for a special treat at Burger King with Dad. Juicy burgers just his size. Feeling special with a shake and fries. Make it special, make it Burger King.
You know, homecoming at Florida State is scheduled a little earlier this year, October the 17th and the 18th. Now, here's a very special lady, my wife Ann, to tell you about the homecoming events that you won't want to miss.
This year, be there for all the great homecoming events at Florida State the weekend of October 17th and 18th. Our first homecoming queen will be the Grand Marshal of the Friday afternoon parade. Then there's the dinner dance with some fine swing music by Charlie Spivak and his orchestra. The powwow in Doak Campbell Stadium Friday night features the Little River Band and the Dirt Band. The alumni marching chiefs get together to rehearse for their musical pregame show, and the alumni cheerleaders return to boost our spirits even higher. Grads made good are honored at the Saturday breakfast, and everybody gathers for good eating at the fish fry before Saturday Night Fever takes hold. Bob Urich, a Florida State graduate and the star of TV's Vegas, is our very special guest. Yes, homecoming at Florida State is more than just a great football game. Call the alumni office early to get your tickets for all the events, and bring the whole family. See you at homecoming.
You know, this Pitt football team came into Tallahassee with one of the best defensive teams. I thought they were the best defensive we've played against yet, including the University of Miami and the University of Nebraska. Sam Platt gained more yards against Pitt than all of the total yards gained by the 4 previous opponents. Now let's look at this second half. They come in here and run the football. You see Reggie Herring, number 39, make a real fine play there. Ron Hester right on his heels there. And now Marino's back to pass. Watch this. Another touchdown by Marino there. And Monk Bonasort misses a tackle. I don't think it was his responsibility. I think he was on the zone trying to fill in. They go for 2 points. Find that big end, Benji Pryor right down the middle. And but it's looking kind of bad now. It's 23-15, and that shows you how quick a team like Pitt can score with a quarterback like Marino, who's one of the best in the country. We put Sam Platt back in there on the kickoff, and he brings the ball out to the 17-yard line. Now we got to get something going here now. All right, here comes Stockstill on the rollout. He runs the football, and they collar him there, but he does make a few yards there. And I think we might have to call Mr. Ron Stark back in the ball game. We've got a heck of an offensive weapon. We'll start. Look at that airplane there. Somebody threw it out of the stands. That thing stayed up in the air for a long time, about as long as one of Stark's punts. No, I remember we made a great catch here by Kurt Unglaub. That's right. Kept this drive going. This was a very important drive by our offense because this was 3rd and long, and Stockstill goes back, and Glaub gets up in the air and makes a real fine catch before he's tackled by their safety man. Okay, somebody busted a play. That's a busted play. And old Hugh Green, he dares you to bust plays. I tell you, he's one of the best football players I've ever seen. And our offense did a heck of a job. Just look at it. But we hit the screen on him. And boy, Sam Platt does a good job of running here. Sam Platt that was about a 3rd down. I'll tell you what that was. That was 3rd down and 20 or 30. And he got all but about 3 yards. No, 2nd down in that. And he gets all of it back and then comes back on, I think, on the next play and gets the 1st down. Look at Sam run. He's running so well after he gets hit. 8:81 there, Zeke Mowat up from Wauchula. And then Bill Capice comes in and kicks the field goal. What do you think about our weapon of Capice and Stark? I tell you, those 2 guys are unbelievable, aren't they? They both got a big write-up in Sports Illustrated this past weekend. And they come right back and do the same thing. There comes that airplane again. As I say, it hangs. It's got about the same hang time as one of Stark's punts. Stark's punch wings don't fall off when it hit, though. Okay, Reggie Herring, 39, nearly had an interception, which would have meant a big touchdown for Florida State. Florida State's defense recovered 4 fumbles, intercepted 3 passes. That's 7 turnovers, and that helped win the ball game. Oh, boy, that was a fine. That guy had that ball, but old Gary Henry, who keeps getting better every week. Gary Henry is, I'm really excited about him, the effort he gives us. Comes in as our 5th back, and he's getting a lot tougher. Watch Gary here. Watch Gary here. Gary's going for that touch. Good run in there. Good run in there. Number 50 is Mr. Ron Simmons, who each week is beginning to get better and better, and I'm so happy. Unglob puts it down. Trent Barnes snaps it, and Bill Capice kicks another field goal. That was either his 4th or 5th right there for the night, and now we take a 29-15 lead. Now, they came out and got 8 points at the half. Our offense answers them with 3, so we cut that 8 margin back down to 5. There's some good hitting. Look at Hester, number 83. And Bonasort 42. Bonasort being from Pittsburgh, you think he didn't want to win this game? Man, he had a personal challenge over there, one of those Pitt players. A real fine reception by a Pitt player there, and that Marino, ever dangerous. I think, look here, he brought him right back. He brought him right back. We stopped their fullback there, Arthur Scott's 54 from Brandon, Florida. Gary Fletcher, they jump over the top. There's at 34, there's a young man that we signed out of Miami, Florida, named Joe McCall. He changed his mind at the last moment and went to Pitt. And he scored his touchdown against us. They kicked the extra point. Now it's 29-22. All they got to get is a 2-point conversion. They go ahead. They run their fullback, Macmillan, up the middle. The 40 is the guy that ran wild in the Fiesta Bowl. If you saw the game, Pitt versus Arizona, number 40. We stopped him pretty decent. Oh, look at McCall give us the football. He fumbled the football, and we get it, and we're going to go in for some more points here. So, boy, what a help that is. Again, I think Simmons played better. Reggie Herring's a guy I like to pat on the back, though, coming in and playing for Porowski. Watch this touchdown pass, and that's the 3rd touchdown pass that Rick Stockstill threw. Rick Stockstill is very effective. Rick's dad was down for the ball game, and Rick's granddad was down for the ball game, and gosh, it was just good to see them. What a fine family they've got. And there's our fine mascot and our horse Renegade, and what a Bill Durham and Bill Smith and the Chinaways. They've done a great job of getting that mascot going for us. Okay, we kick off again. Another fine kickoff by Florida State. And there's that number 46. Now, that's Mike Rodriguez from Tallahassee, Florida. I was trying to figure out who that was. Mike Rodriguez, who was a walk-on at Florida State, is now on scholarship. And here's Gary Henry on a punt return. And he takes it down the sideline, and they make a real fine tackle there. But, buddy, he did a good job bringing that thing back. Reggie Herring, what we did at linebacker, and there's Bill Capice coming in and kicking. He missed that one. Again, we didn't get that one down good. They throw a little slant across there, and Martin Bonasort comes in for a big interception. And we're going to go down, and I'm not sure if we get nothing on the board here or not. Here's look at Platt, picking good. 84, Childers there blocking. 72, Ken Lanier blocking. 58 there is John Madden from Fort Walton. No, Stark. This is where Stark has to punt it out of bounds. He punts it out of bounds on the 10-yard line. That's Ricky Williams down there covering. And 65 is Trenton Barnes and Reedus Coggins from Chipley, Florida, all down recovering on that punt. But Stark had to kick that thing out of bounds, a 25-yarder. If it hadn't for that, he'd have averaged over 50 yards a kick. We had 52,894 people there. Marino's back to pass. Looks like Simmons finally got to him. Bobby Butler on a real big interception, and that's their last possession. Now Florida State starts the last drive of the day. There's a handoff to Ricky Williams, number 44, and Florida State takes a great 36-22 win. And it was a big one because, as I say, Pitt was nationally ranked coming in here. Now, we'll be back, and Gene Deckerhoff will tell you about next week's opponent, Boston College, after this message.